Good morning, everybody. This is the NSMBU fan here, and I'm here today to provide an answer to one simple question. Who is Mumfie the Elephant? Probably sounds like some really crappy Sonic the Hedgehog OC or something, right?
Oh my goodness!
Well, no. Let me explain. Magic Adventures of Mumfie was a British animated kids show which was inspired by the Mumfie books written and illustrated by Catherine Tozer. Britt Allcroft, the creator of the more well-known Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends television series herself, cherished the Mumfie books in her childhood, and as a child, her mother would often take her to London to see musicals. The books had been previously adapted for television in 1975 and 1976 as Here Comes Mumfie, but Allcroft's newly created version, with memorable stories and characters such as Mumfie, joined by friends which include Scarecrow, Whale, Napoleon Jones, and Pinky the Flying Pig, and an original musical score featuring 26 Broadway-style songs, was broadcast on the children's ITV block of the UK's ITV network in 1994, and has since been broadcast in many other countries. While Thomas and Mumfie are different in production style and characters, both shows have a common theme. As Britt Allcroft notes, both speak directly to human feelings and experience through the power of enchantment. They share in common what I have come to call stories of the spirit. Mumfie's adventures are quests of discovery, both of the world around him and of the values of friendship, confidence, and loving kindness. During the period in which it aired, Britt Allcroft's Magic Adventures of Mumfie was lauded for its gentle storytelling and for creating a whimsical world that children could lose themselves in. It regularly won its time slots on the Fox Kids network in the US and ITV in the UK, and was acclaimed by critics from such publications as the Chicago Tribune, bound to capture the hearts and minds of children, a moving work of art, and the New York Daily News. An instant classic, it's gentle, smart, beautifully animated. A movie of Mumfie was even released in 1996 called Mumfie's Quest: The Movie, which was a compilation movie of the first 13 episodes of the TV series' first season. This show feels, to me, almost like the equivalent of what Tugs was to David Mitten, another show he worked on that wasn't Thomas. However, the difference here is that Britt Allcroft didn't leave Thomas to work on Mumfie, while David Mitten and Robert D. Cardona did end up leaving Thomas to work on Tugs after Season 2 finished production. I have seen bits and pieces of the show despite not growing up in the era when it first aired, and from what I have seen, I can say that the show is very good in terms of quality. I own 2 pieces of media from Magic Adventures of Mumfie, and you're likely expecting me to say that they're VHS releases or something, right? Wrong. Surprise! You thought that this was a video of me covering an obscure British television series, didn't you? Well, this is actually an animation cell reveal video. So for those of you who didn't see my post on Twitter, I ended up winning 2 animation cells from Magic Adventures of Mumfie through the Britt Allcroft collection by Julian's Auctions. Let me explain some backstory here as to how I got my hands on these animation cells from the show. So I first heard about the Britt Allcroft auction via Julian's Auctions' Twitter post, and since I didn't get anything from the Prop Store auction for the 80th anniversary, as all of the stuff that was on there got to be way too much for me to afford, I knew that this auction was my second chance at getting something official from the production of Thomas the Tank Engine. So what I was originally looking at and was thinking about getting on the auction page was the lady model replica that they were selling off. But just like the models on the Prop Store auction, it got to be way too expensive for me to afford. Like, I'm sorry, but $22,400 is just way too much. So I decided to see if I could get my hands on something else. And what caught my attention next were the contact sheets and negatives of models and sets, and the production photo archive. In addition to there being a lot of Thomas stuff in this auction, there was also a lot of production material from Magic Adventures of Mumfie. I saw a listing for 2 animation cells from the show and decided that I would also keep my eyes on those as well. However, the contact sheets and the negatives plus the production photo archive became too much for me to afford, so I had to skip out on those as well. So then it became an option of deciding which of the least expensive items I wanted, and I decided next to keep my eyes on the reference photos of the secondary characters, namely Diesel, Bill, Ben, Boko, Donald, and Douglas. I decided that it would be smart to not bid on anything until the final day, and since I had to work on the day that the bid expired, I could take my lunch break at the same time the bids would expire. I bid on my items early in the morning and went to work as usual. I went on my lunch break, and I quickly realized that I was outbid on the reference photos. So then I tried to see if I could go for reference photos of a different character, and the one I ended up bidding on next was the reference photos for Sir Topham Hatt, Jeremiah Jobling, and a random woman passenger. However, I was outbid again. At that point, I decided to throw in the towel on getting anything Thomas related from the auction completely, since there wasn't going to be anything left for me to choose from that I wanted. However, I still had one last trick up my sleeve. The animation cells from Mumfie. I figured that the show was probably obscure enough that I would have more of a chance of winning than I would with the Thomas items I decided to go for. I decided to change up my strategy and applied my max bid for the reference photos I intended to go for to the animation cells that I wanted. There was a small bit of a competition, but soon my automatic bid went through, and I wasn't outbid. I watched anxiously as the timer slowly counted down to 0, and the page refreshed. Then I saw it. You are the winner. My excitement at that moment was indescribable. I couldn't believe it. I won! I actually won something from the Britt Allcroft collection. Sure, it wasn't something Thomas related, but I still won something that will make up for it in my opinion. After waiting and waiting for my animation cells to arrive in the mail, they finally came in. Here is the unboxing process of me opening up my Magic Adventures of Mumfie animation cells.
Alright guys, here they are, my animation cells that I won from the Julian's Auctions Britt Allcroft Collection auction. FedEx dropped them off while I was at work today. I actually missed the first delivery because I was away at work, and they had to re-deliver it to me today. So somebody was fortunately at the house to bring this in, and oh my gosh, I am so excited to open this. I'm so excited to get this open and see the animation cells that I won from the Britt Allcroft collection. I'm so excited to open these up and get to see like original like artwork from Britt Allcroft's Magic Adventures of Mumfie. This is going to be absolutely crazy, and I can't wait to get this open. So without further ado, let's just get right on into it. Like, you guys won't want to watch me just sit here and talk all the time, so, and I've already explained like all of the history of this show in the history section, so let's just get right into opening this thing. Alright, inside all of this paper right here are my two animation cells that I won from the auction, and I'm going to go get some gloves on so that I can properly handle these animation cells so that I won't damage them, and I'll be back in just a second so I can get the paper off of this. So just be right back for in just a second. Alright, I've got my gloves on, as you can see here. You always want to make sure to wear gloves when you're handling animation cells because they're very fragile. So let's get the paper out, and I think maybe underneath this is going to be an animation cell, maybe? Or maybe they're both in here. That's probably my guess, is that there's one in here, so let me see if I can get this open and see if there's an animation cell in here. Because this is going to take a little bit of careful cutting to get this open, and sorry, it's blurry a little bit. Trying to get the camera to focus. It does not want to focus. There we go. So yeah, I'm going to get the tape off of this, and we're going to see what this is going to be. And I'm sure it's going to be one of the animation cells. I'm sure the other one is still in the box, but let's get this one open first. Alright, as you can see right here, I've cut this side of the tape. All of the sides of the tape have been cut. So we're going to, sorry, put my hand in front of the camera there, guys, but we're going to take off this top piece and we're going to see which animation cell this is going to be. Is this going to be the big one or is this going to be the smaller one? Guess we'll find out together. There he is! There he is! Oh, they're both in here, actually. Wow, look at that! Both of them are in here. Oh, but there they are! There's Mumfie right there! Oh, look at that! That's awesome! I gotta say, I love this show's art style. I love the art style of this show. Like, it looks very, very nice. And I can't believe that I own animation cells from this. Like, this is crazy. Like, you've got this one of Mumfie, which I'm not sure if this is from an episode or not, because from the picture on the website, the animation cells don't have production codes on them. Like, the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog animation cells that I got off of eBay, those do have production codes on them, but the Mumfie ones don't. So, what I'm wondering is what episode this is from. Like, is this from an episode? Like, if any of you guys in the comments are, like, a Mumfie, like, fan, or you're, like, a super fan, and you immediately recognize this pose from an episode, please let me know what episode it is in the comments below, because I would love to track this cell down in the actual show. But that's so cool. Like, we got Mumfie right there, and there's the bird that's on the other cell behind him. The other one's much bigger. But it looks like these are taped to the... They're taped to the side right here. So I'm gonna have to get this out with the scissors. I didn't think I would need the scissors anymore, but I'm gonna need them to get these cells off of the cardboard right here. But there he is. There he is, the title character of Magic Adventures of Mumfie. I can't believe it. This is just crazy. I can't believe that I own an animation cell from a show that Britt Allcroft herself worked on. So let's get these animation cells out now, so I can properly display them. It's going to take me a little bit to get that ready, so I will cut to when I get both of these out, and I will be right back in just a second. Alright, and here they are, the two animation cells that I ended up winning from the Britt Allcroft collection. And we've also got this gigantic one, which you guys couldn't see behind the other one. This one is a very, very nice one. Like, this one actually, I think this one might actually be like a promotional picture, because I've seen this one around, like, when I search on Google, like, just like a PNG of this specific cell right here. So I might actually own, like, the actual cell of, like, the PNG here. So that's pretty cool. This is so cool. Like, I can tell that this one is probably a promotional cell because it takes up the whole page. Like this one, since this one is smaller, that's why I suspected that this one might be from an episode, but since there's no production codes on it, I can't tell. But yeah, here they are, my two, Magic Adventures of Mumfie animation cells, and I just can't believe that I've got these. Like, it's absolutely crazy. And here's this one again. Like, I thought that the paper was actually connected to the thing on the below, but I guess it's not. And yeah, wow. Actually, now that I take a closer look at this, let's take a closer look at this bird. If you look very closely underneath him, you can see that the bottom side of him is flat. So it looks like there was like a branch there that he's supposed to be sitting on. So maybe this is just like a promotional cell. Like, maybe there's a background of like a forest area or something behind the two characters here, and I'm just missing that background. But yeah, very, very cool. Very, very cool. I just can't believe that I've got two animation cells from a show that Britt Allcroft herself worked on. It's absolutely mind-blowing.
And there you have it, folks. That was the unboxing process of unboxing my new Magic Adventures of Mumfie animation cells that I got from Julian's Auctions. I'm still in disbelief that these cells are mine and that I won them. I really thought that I wasn't going to be able to get anything from this auction, but boy, was I wrong. And you know what? I might not have gotten anything Thomas related from Julian's Auctions, but at least I gave the stuff I wanted a good ol' honest try at getting it for myself. It would have been nice to get some photos of behind the scenes stuff from the show, which would have definitely made up for me not getting anything from the prop store auction, but hey, I'm just happy that at least I have something from the production of another show that the creator of Thomas also worked on, and that is something that I will forever be thankful for. I will definitely be keeping these animation cells around, and I might see if I can get one of them framed up in my room somewhere. So until that happens, they'll be going back into storage to stay safe away from the elements. I will forever cherish these animation cells and make sure that they never get damaged, as I'm sure that's what Britt would have wanted. And again, I am just so happy and so thankful that I won something from Julian's Auctions. And while it wasn't anything that I was expecting to win, I'm just happy that I have cells of Mumfie, the little pachyderm with the great big heart. Anyways, that's going to do it for this video, guys. This video was very much inspired by Unlucky Tug's Patrick prop reveal video, where he covered a basic history of the character before revealing halfway through that he won his prop in the prop store auction. I highly recommend checking out that video too. It's so fascinating to see how many unused faces he came with and how large his model is. I will also say that the history section of that video inspired me to come up with an idea for another video of mine, so be on the lookout for that very soon. Anyways, I think I'll wrap it up here. Thanks everybody so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this one, and I'll see you all in the next video. This is the TSMU fan, signing out. Special thanks to my Patreon supporters Master Painter and Railway Series 64, and I give an extra special thanks to those patrons of mine who have chosen to remain anonymous. If you'd like to learn how to get your name at the end of every new video that I upload, please consider supporting me on Patreon. Link is on my channel homepage under my channel description.